Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the QubicaAMF Tech Tip Podcast. This is the weekly podcast where we take you on a journey through the fascinating world of bowling technology and beyond. As always, I'm your host, Orly, and we have a very special guest today. We have V Levine. V, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Orly?
I am doing great. And V, if you listen to the show, you know that V has been on the show a few times. I guess you could say many times. I feel like it's been a lot of times. She's always there to help me out, especially in my last minute, every once in a while, somebody will cancel on me. We won't call out names or anything. I don't want to do that because then they'll never come back on this show. No, I'm just kidding. I know people get busy with stuff. So V, I appreciate you doing the show today, as always.
Of course. I'm always here to help when I can.
We appreciate it. And V, today what I wanted to cover, somebody had wrote in, they didn't give me a lot of details, but they basically said they need to, how would they repair, and not repair like they broke something, like repair like into, pair it up with something. Mm-hmm. How to repair their Square terminal.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a relatively simple process as long as you know where to look. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to your QPortal page, and there's going to be a section that says Square. Click that, and there'll be a tab that says Pair Square Terminals. If you only have one Square device, you're only going to have one thing that pops up. If you have multiple devices, you'll have to go through your list and figure out which one it is, but hopefully you named it well enough that you'll know which one you're holding and needs to be repaired. Once you find that one in your Square terminals, you're actually going to go and delete the one that needs to be repaired. After you do that, in QPortal, you're going to actually go to the Square device itself. You're going to swipe on the screen from the left edge to the right to pull up the settings tab. Once the setting tab comes up, there'll be an option to sign out of that device. So go ahead and click that button, and then you can put down your Square device for the moment, and you're going to then go back to QPortal. You're going to go back to that same page under the Pair Square Terminals, but this time, instead of, deleting it because you already have, there'll be an option to re-add it back. There'll be a plus sign on the right side. You're going to go ahead and click that. Once you do so, it's going to give you some options that you need to fill out. Those are going to be including your display name. Like I was saying earlier, if you have multiple devices, it's super helpful. That way you can keep track of what's what. So go ahead and put that in. If it's the one that's associated with your snack bar or your front desk, you can put that in for the name. Or if you know that it's going to be connected to terminal 1 or 2 or 3, you can put it in that way as well. After you do the display name, it's going to ask for the device type. It's not the device type of the Square device. It's really what is it connected to. It'll give you the option of kiosk or Conqueror terminal /QPad. So if you're putting this with a kiosk, you're obviously going to select that one. Or if you're putting it with a terminal or QPad, you're going to select that one. And then the last thing it's going to ask you for is the device. The device is not for the Square device, but for your Conqueror terminal. You're going to have to put in the number of that Conqueror terminal. That way it pairs correctly with your Square device. If you don't know what your Conqueror terminal number is that it's getting connected to, go to that terminal, go into Conqueror, go to the utilities section, then hit About Conqueror. And if you keep scrolling, it'll give you the terminal number, and that's what you're going to need to put into QPortal. Gotcha. After you do that, it'll give you an option to add the device. In QPortal, go ahead and hit Add. And then after that, it'll populate a section that says Square Device Code. If you hit the plus button for that, it will give you a pairing code. It's going to be a 6-digit code that you're going to put in on the Square device. Do not hit that plus button until you are fully ready to do this process, because as soon as you hit that button that gives you the code, you do have a 5 to 10 minute limit to put that code in. If you miss that window, you're going to end up having to redo this entire process. So just make sure you're ready before you end up hitting the button that gives you the code. But after you put in that code, you'll see a message indicating that it's loading and pairing with the device. And after that, you should be good to go.
Perfect. You made that sound so easy. A few steps, but very easy. So the good thing with the podcast I mentioned before is you could, I think some podcast apps will let you actually slow this down. So if you need it slower, or you could always just pause it, and rewind. I do that a lot when I'm trying to fix something and I'm using YouTube. I'm like, oh, let me rewind again. Oh, that went too fast for me. Let me rewind again. So yeah, that's the cool thing with this is it's not, you're able to just pause it and listen again till you get that. And like I said, it didn't seem very hard. You made that seem easy. So yeah, we appreciate that, V.
Yeah. And, if you're having any trouble or if you're more of a visual learner, you can always check our resources. We do have instructions for things like this that have visuals alongside them as well if you want to read and look versus, just getting an auditory instruction. Or, worst case scenario, if you're still struggling or you just need a little extra help, if you call into our tech support line, there'll be someone who'll be able to help walk you through those steps as well.
Perfect. Yeah, someone's always willing to help you, just like this. So if you have more questions like that, feel free to send them in and, post them to our Beyond the Frame Facebook group, and we will pull them and we'll find somebody awesome like V that can answer them. Thanks for listening to the QubicaAMF Tech Tip Podcast. We're here each week to support centers like yours with expert advice and the latest in bowling innovation. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and be sure to share this podcast with your team, coworkers, or anyone who could benefit. Until next time, we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.